Hunters, land managers, and conservationists all know that bigger, healthier deer doesn't happen by accident. Genetics, age, nutrition all play a major role. But when we looked into the deer feed industry, we saw a problem. Too many cheap fillers, too much dust, and not enough real results. And we set out to change that. This is the story of Grit Feed Company and our pursuit of better whitetail nutrition and how we're redefining what goes in every bag. Today we're going to talk about the problems that we saw in the deer feed industry, how our company got started, the difference that we make in our bags, and how we're changing the game for you on your farm. So early in my career, when I was developing hunting products for other companies, I really began to see some major problems in deer feed, deer nutrition, just deer products in general. And it kind of began to bother me as a product developer. So when there came an opportunity for me to help people with some of the deer issues that they were having on their farms, I took it as a chance to really try to address some of those problems. And one of the big things that jumped out to me early on was the reality that when I opened up a bag of deer feed, there was so much trash, powder, dust, not real quality feed in there. And that bothered me for the guy that I was trying to help because I had a close relationship with him. And the product that he showed me that he wanted my advice on, I looked at it and I said, man, I think the intentions were there, but unfortunately, there was a lot of corners cut to try to get the price down on the manufacturing side. And I think we can change that. And that was our first step, was to eliminate all of the junk that sometimes come in a bag. Powder, corn cobs, corn husk, just fillers that ultimately do not have a real impact on deer nutrition. And really what they're doing is just cheapening the product, yet the price is higher. And then what I saw in the industry was so much product was being presented or being shipped to stores during hunting season, which is awesome because that's when a lot of hunters really start engaging in feeding deer. But the problem is deer and truly causing a difference in your deer herd, it starts back in February and March, especially here in the Southeast United States. It starts when the deer come out of the season, come out of the rut, and ultimately come into antler drop. Because when the antler drops, the deer is at the most unhealthy stage of the whole year. And that's when it needs deer nutrition most. But if you go to a store, you're going to be hard-pressed to find good product during that time of year. So we wanted to solve that problem. How do we get product to people who want to make a difference, want to make a change in their deer herd during the right time of year? Deer are growing antlers about 200 days a year. The doe, they have fawns that are developing in their system during that same 200 days where they need that nutrition as well. So product being shipped to stores in August, September, October of every year, you've missed the boat. You've missed a chance of really changing your deer herd during that particular year. So we wanted to solve that problem. How could we get feed to the guys who want to make a difference during the right time of year, which is in the spring and summer months, not late summer and fall? And that's really where it all began for us. I actually had a really close friend, actually family member, that came to me wanting to start a feeding program for his farm. And he knew that I was in the industry and he wanted to get my advice. And so I looked at it and I was like, man, to be honest, there's a lot of junk in this bag. There's a lot of trash. There's a lot of stuff that I think doesn't have any real value to the deer and to the deer's nutrition. And ultimately that product was quite expensive. So I said, man, let me take a look at it. Let me see if I can help you have a more pure product with better return on the grain and for a better price. And that's how Grit Feed Company got started. We sought out to help guys have the right product, the right time of year, and the right ingredients. And everything changed from there. And so we decided that we would really focus on helping people grow bigger deer during the spring and summer and not just having a hunting season product. And we decided that we would go out and find all the best grains that had the best return on their value than anything else out there. And that's where we started with our fat first approach. where we focus on high-fat grains because the number one thing a deer needs during its growing season and during fawning season is digestible energy. And the reality is protein has a lot of digestible energy, but fats have 2.5 times more digestible energy than proteins. So we wanted to find really good high-fat grains that didn't have a bunch of fillers, didn't have a bunch of trash. So we chased the legume family with ultimately landing on peanuts and soybeans and all the micro and macro nutrition that's in them. Ultimately, we decided we would do a couple things. We would use whole grains so you can see it. It's not a pellet. What's in the pellet? I have no idea. But what you can see with our product is what you're actually getting. And we know that with our whole grains that are high in fat, high in protein, and even more importantly, it has all the micro and macro nutrition still in that whole grain. That's how we decided we were gonna change the game for the guy who really wanted to change the deer nutrition on his farm. And then secondly, what we decided to do was use clear bags so you could see what's in the bag. You decide if it's of value to you. And because of that approach, I really believe we started changing the game, not only for the deer nutrition industry, but even more importantly, for our customers. As we continue to try to help guys grow bigger and better deer on their farm, we realize there's a lot of you out there. And that's been the beauty of our company and how blessed we've been to grow year in and year out. We've continued to help guys grow bigger and better deer. And if you want to grow bigger and better deer on your farm or your hunting lease, or, hey, look, it doesn't take a lot of land to grow a big deer, and we'll talk more about that later. But if you want to grow bigger, better deer on your farm, and you think we can help you, and you want to look deeper into what we do and our approaches, hey, click the link below and just fill out that information, and you'll be a part of the club that we send out information to week in and week out to really help you find better ways, better approaches, understand the time of year to have bigger, better deer on your property. If today's video was helpful, check out this one, and we'll see you next time.